For years, businesses searched for shortcuts. The shortcut to growing faster, the shortcut to making more money, the shortcut to beating the competition, and for a while it worked. Companies could copy a successful product, spend heavily on advertising, outsource production to cut costs, or flood the market before competitors had a chance to react. That playbook created billion-dollar companies. But something has changed. Those shortcuts don't work the way they used to. In fact, many of the strategies that once made businesses successful are now becoming their biggest weaknesses. So what happened? Why are companies with bigger budgets suddenly losing to smaller competitors? And why are some of America's fastest growing businesses doing the exact opposite of what business schools taught for decades? The answer reveals one of the biggest shifts happening in corporate America. Because the business shortcut that worked yesterday is becoming the biggest mistake a company can make today. For years, speed alone was enough. If you launched first, you usually won. If you spent the most on advertising, customers noticed. If you expanded into every market as quickly as possible, competitors struggled to catch up. Growth was the priority, efficiency came later. But today's marketplace is different. Customers have more choices than ever before. Switching from one product to another takes seconds. One bad experience can spread across social media in minutes. And artificial intelligence is making it easier for smaller companies to compete with businesses that once had enormous advantages. In other words, simply moving fast is no longer enough. Now businesses have to move smart. Take customer experience. There was a time when a company could get away with average service as long as its product was good. Today, customers expect fast delivery, personalized recommendations, instant support, and seamless digital experiences. If they don't get them, someone else is ready to provide them. That means companies can no longer rely on brand recognition alone. Every interaction matters. Another shortcut that's disappearing is competing on price alone. For years, many businesses believed lowering prices was the fastest way to gain market share. But endless price wars usually create one outcome: shrinking profits. Today's most successful companies are focusing on creating more value instead of simply becoming cheaper. They're building ecosystems, subscription services, exclusive features, loyalty programs, communities. The goal isn't to have the lowest price, it's to become the hardest company to replace. Technology has accelerated this shift. Artificial intelligence has lowered the cost of creating content, writing software, analyzing data, and automating routine work. Tasks that once required large teams can now be completed much faster. That means the advantage is no longer having the biggest workforce. It's knowing how to use technology more effectively than everyone else. This is forcing businesses to rethink how they operate. Another shortcut that's fading is copying competitors. In the past, businesses could watch an industry leader, imitate its strategy, and capture part of the market. Today, trends move too quickly. By the time a copy reaches customers, the market has often moved on. That's why originality is becoming more valuable again. Companies that solve real problems in unique ways are creating stronger customer loyalty than those simply following the latest trend. The same is true for hiring. For years, companies believed adding more employees automatically meant more growth. Now, many executives are asking a different question. Can technology help our existing team accomplish more? Businesses are investing heavily in automation and AI, not because they want fewer people, but because they want their employees focused on higher value work. That changes how organizations grow. Instead of building larger teams, they're building smarter systems. Perhaps the biggest shortcut that's disappearing is chasing short-term wins at the expense of long-term trust. Consumers are paying closer attention to quality, reliability, privacy, transparency. Companies that overpromise and underdeliver are finding it much harder to recover their reputations. Trust has become one of the most valuable business assets. And unlike advertising, it can't simply be bought overnight. The companies adapting fastest understand this. They're investing in customer relationships instead of quick sales. They're improving products instead of relying solely on marketing. They're building long-term loyalty instead of chasing temporary spikes in revenue. Wall Street is beginning to recognize this shift as well. Investors are paying closer attention to sustainable growth, recurring revenue, customer retention, and long-term competitive advantages. Growth still matters, but durable growth matters even more. That explains why many of today's most successful businesses look very different from the high-growth companies of a decade ago. They're spending more on technology, more on infrastructure, more on research, more on customer experience, and less on shortcuts that only produce temporary results. History shows this pattern repeating itself. Every business era creates a formula for success. Eventually, that formula becomes outdated. The companies that survive aren't always the biggest. They're the ones willing to adapt before everyone else. That's exactly what's happening today. Artificial intelligence is changing how work gets done. Digital platforms are changing how customers make decisions. Global competition is increasing. Consumer expectations continue rising. The old shortcuts simply can't keep up. Success now depends on building something competitors can't easily copy. Better products, better systems, better customer experiences, better execution. The businesses winning in this new environment aren't searching for the fastest path. They're building the strongest foundation. Because in today's economy, the biggest advantage isn't finding a shortcut. It's creating a business that no longer needs one. And that may be the biggest lesson corporate America is learning right now.